Still hot and humid in New York City, but still it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Kansas City Royals in the second game of a four-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. After 6 in a row, the Yankees have lost their last two. Offensively, they have struggled over the past two. And what would you know? We have a real good pitching matchup today, so runs could be at a premium. New York Lottery pitching matchup shows us James Shields on the mound for the Royals against KCA Sabathia for the Yankees. Last time out for Sabathia, it was a milestone win.
It was a big win for him, win number 200 for Sabathia in Minnesota, and he was as good as he's been all year. 121 pitches, that is a season high for him. He struck out 9 in this ball game, won a tight ball game 3-2 in Minnesota. He got that win number 200 out of the way, and he's looking to add on here tonight against the Kansas City Royals.
Now, matching up against Shields is not something new. These two have met each other 8 times head-to-head. Shields with 3 wins, Sabathia with 1. ERAs for both very good. Strikeout to walk ratio, both excellent. Now, John, when you look at Shields, his numbers would indicate he shouldn't be 3-6, but he is.
Well, he does not get any run support this year, but he's still a top-of-the-rotation guy. He relies on his changeup probably a little bit too much. Royals would like to see him use his fastball a little bit better. His last 3 starts have not been his greatest, but the Royals find ways to win ball games when he starts. He's just not the winning pitcher getting the win every night.
Now, what the Yankees like about this, they like being on Central Stage. What do I mean? They beat up on teams in the American League Central. That's what the Royals are, and the team coming in, the Twins as well. We'll talk about it next. All-Star game, the Yankees have 6 games against American League Central opponents, and that's significant. They're 7 games over for the year, but they're 10 games over against the Central. 1-2 in 3 games against the Tigers. They've beaten up on the Indians, 3-1 so far against the Royals, and 4-0 against the Twins, and they'll finish the first half against Minnesota. The first series against the White Sox will be August 5th, 6th, and 7th. So this is game 2 of the 4-game set against the Kansas City Royals, and you know what? It is a beauty. It's a pitching matchup that you gotta love. If you like hurlers, this is the one. KCA against Shields, Yankees and the Royals. Lineups, first pitch, baseball next. Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Mitsubishi. Find your own lane in an all-new 2014 Mitsubishi Outlander. Visit MitsubishiCars.com/2014 Outlander. By Domino's. Order from Domino's.com today, and don't forget to track your order. And by Chrysler, imported from Detroit. There is Autumn Blinn, who was honored today during Hope Week, and we'll give you the story a little bit later on with Meredith Marakovitz. But it is a beautiful story about a selfless little girl that gives her time and energy to helping others. Just a great, great story, and the Yankees recognized Autumn Blinn today, so she threw out the first pitch, and as I mentioned, we'll have that for you a little bit later on with Meredith. All right, so the Yankees have taken the field, and KCA Sabathia about to take his warm-ups, and why don't we take a look at the Kansas City Royals starting lineup as put together by manager Ned Yost. The Royals are 42 and 44, and Alex Gordon, their left fielder, leads off. Batting second and playing shortstop, Alcides Escobar. Eric Hosmer, the first baseman, hits third. Cleaning up the DH, Billy Butler. Salvador Perez, the catcher, will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing center field, Lorenzo Cain. The veteran Miguel Tejada at third base, bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing second base, Johnny Giovotella. And David Lowe is in right field, and he is going to bat ninth.
Well, that starting lineup for the Kansas City Royals is going to face left-hander veteran KCA Sabathia. We'll take a look at his numbers on the year. This will be his 19th start, 9-6, ERA just over 4, 124 hits in 124 innings. We'll look at our pitcher scouting report, which is brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. That ninth win was win number 200 for KCA Sabathia. So you get that milestone and you move forward, and it was on 121 pitches, which was a season high for Sabathia. And the Yankees love it when he's out on the mound after they have lost the game. His record 10-3, 2.77 ERA, and that is since the start of last year after a Yankee loss.
All right, another hot, humid day here in New York City as KCA gets ready to throw the first pitch and begin this ball game. Alex Gordon digs in. The Royals won last night 5-1. There's a 4-game set, and this is game 2 of the series. Gordon digs in. He's ready. KCA's ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch swung on and missed, and we are underway. Yankee defense straight away in the infield. Gardner shades a step or two toward left center. That's a weak hack right there, the count 0-2.
Good start for Sabathia, quickly getting ahead in the count. He did not walk a Minnesota Twin in his last outing with those 121 pitches. 9 strikeouts, got better as the game went on.
Pitch outside.
Alex Gordon, the all-star for Kansas City, coming in batting .371 against left-handed pitching.
One of 2 all-stars from the Kansas City Royals, the catcher Salvador Perez and Alex Gordon. They're going to Citi Field for the All-Star game, and that's a week from tonight. And the pitch. So it's gone full now, 3-2.
Good at bat for Alex Gordon, behind in the count 0-2, working it all the way back to a full count. Escobar on deck.
And the big left-hander deals the full count pitch, and he walked him. Oh no, strike 3. I was a little too quick, and Angel Hernandez a little too slow, but Gordon thought it was ball 4, and he walked slowly back to the dugout.
Angel Hernandez with the call. You see Chris Stewart setting up on the outside corner brings that glove back a little bit. Alex Gordon can't believe it. Ball had a little cut action on the outer half.
I'd like to see the overhead on that if we have it. I'm not sure we do. That looked like it was way outside. We don't have it. So Angel Hernandez gets saved. Here's Escobar. And there's a strike.
I'm interested to see what kind of stuff KCA Sabathia has tonight after that last outing. 121 pitches, a season high. See if he rebounds from that.
Count 0-2.
Good changeup there. First one he's thrown tonight.
Fouls that one back. Escobar in a little bit of a slump. 3 hits in his last 21 at-bats. Yankees baseball is available in Spanish. All you have to do is hit the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Infinity. Check swing. And he goes around. According to first base umpire Paul Nauert. Second strikeout. Let's check out the defense, and really only KCA and Stewart have been involved so far. In the outfield, it's Almonte, Gardner, and Ichiro. Infield, it's Cruz, Nunez, Cano, and Overbay. That's third to first. The veteran Stewart behind the plate, and Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound. Here's Eric Hosmer. Got off to a very slow start. He has 9 home runs now, but 8 home runs since June 13th. So his ascension seems to be coinciding with George Brett becoming interim hitting coach. 1-1.
Well, the Royals think offensively they will be a better club in the second half. There's a Hall of Famer, George Brett, looking on. But as it stands right now, the pitching is better for the Royals than the hitting. I expect the hitting to get better.
Sounds like a broken bat, fly ball to right. Suzuki is there in a 1-2-3 inning for KCA and the Yankees. So it's the Royals nothing and the Yankees coming to bat. Yankees starting on it, which is presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner, he's slumping. He's at center field to lead off, batting second, playing right field, Ichiro Suzuki. Robinson Cano, the second baseman, will bat third. Cleaning up the DH, Travis Hafner. Zoilo Almonte in left field will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing first base, Lyle Overbay, pinch hit home run yesterday in the seventh inning, the only Yankee run. Eduardo Nunez, the shortstop, will bat seventh, batting eighth, and playing third base, Luis Cruz. And Chris Stewart will catch it. He's going to bat ninth.
Joe Girardi sending that lineup against the right-hander James Shields, and we'll look at his numbers on the year. The ERA is impressive at 3.23, but he's the one-loss record 3-6. This will be his 19th start. We'll look at our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. The Royals are a winning team when he pitches, but we just saw with those numbers, Shields doesn't rack up the wins. Last 7 outings, he has 6 no decisions and 1 win. and a tough time against the Yankees. 7-15 record, ERA of 4.46. But Robinson Cano very happy to see James Shields, a .392 batting average with 4 home runs against the right-hander.
And that's a big sample size that John's talking about, too. 31 for 79, so that's a legitimate .392. Gardner, 1 hit in his last 17 at-bats. Shows bunt and takes low, 1-0.
Brett 0 for his last 16. That matches the longest streak of his career.
We talked yesterday, John, about giving players rests. And what the Yankees have been really unable to do is give Brett Gardner a rest. They don't have anybody that can approximate what he does, both in center and leading off. I think he had 1 day off in Minnesota, and they have to run him out there every single day. And I think some fatigue is showing. As he bunts that one third base, Tejada fields, fires, not in time. That's a good way to break the slump if you have speed.
Well, and I was just thinking that he's not a guy who should go through 0 for 16s because of how he runs. Just putting the ball in play, slapping it around, you would think you would get some infield hits. But here he decides to lay down the bunt, and it's perfectly executed. Tejada getting a start against a left-handed pitcher. Low throw, picked by Hosmer, just not in time. Deaden it down the third base line. Tejada just doesn't have enough on the throw.
So Gardner's on first, and here's Ichiro, a pinch hit single in last night's game. And he fouls back the first pitch.
Well, Michael, let's pay attention to the fastball for Shields. I mean, he's a guy who only throws his fastball 38% of the time. If you look around the big leagues, usually starting pitchers are throwing their fastball 50 to 60% of the time, but he loves his changeup.
Grounded through for base hit. Gardner will go to third. Ichiro with another hit, and it's first and third, nobody out for the Yankees.
Good start for the Yankees. I mentioned Shields likes his changeup, and Ichiro got that changeup out over the plate. Drives him right back up the middle of the field. Brett Gardner, with his speed, will cruise into third base easily. I want to see if Shields will make an adjustment tonight, throw more fastballs, kind of establish it. Tendency with a pitcher, when he has a pitch that he loves and the changeup is that pitch for Shields, usually when you get in trouble, that's what you're going to go to. And he's in trouble against Robinson Cano.
And we told you the numbers on Cano, so this is a big spot for the Yankees. Get some damage early. Do some damage. 0-1.
That's exactly what Robinson had on his mind. There in the numbers, 31 for 79 with 4 bombs. Robinson was not thinking the other way that first pitch. He was looking for a 3-run home run.
Count 1-1.
Talking to Dave Island, the pitching coach with the Royals, he was talking about the fastball with Shields, that he can get it up to 93, 94 miles an hour. That's what we just saw right there, that last one at 94. So plenty enough velocity on that fastball to get away with it.
Time called. Shields took too much time. Shields came over to Kansas City in a big deal with the Tampa Bay Rays. In fact, the Royals got 2/5 of their starting rotation in Shields and Davis. And the big part going over to Tampa Bay, Will Myers. Count 2-1. Royals have a very fertile farm system that produces position players but not pitchers. So they took their chances dealing the highly coveted Will Myers. Sent him to Tampa Bay for 2 pitchers.
Shields has done his part. Wade Davis kind of making that transition back to the rotation, is starting to throw the ball a lot better of late.
And that's past the diving Hosmer and into right field. Gardner scores. Ichiro goes to second. It's an RBI single for Cano, and the Yankees are on the board 1-0.
Well, that batting average against Shields continues to rise. And in a fastball count, Shields went what looked like a curveball. Robinson hammers it into right field. 3 consecutive hits, and the Yankees set up to have a big first inning.
So that's going to bring up Travis Hafner. Hafner 1 hit in his last 14 at-bats, and today Joe Girardi was asked, have you thought about replacing him as a designated hitter? And Girardi said, I have not given it one thought at all. And a strike. Now, Shields is one of those pitchers, and there are a lot of good pitchers like this that need to find out what's working early, need to get into a pretty good groove early, and sometimes they're finding their way. He has allowed first inning runs in 15 of his 19 starts, and that's the highest percentage in baseball. And against the Yankees, he has struggled historically. And also his last 7 starts against the Yankees in New York, he's 0-6.
You look at batting average against, first time through the lineup, hitters are hitting .282, second time .264.
And he could not hold up. He goes around, so Hafner is down on strikes.
There's a couple of changeups to Hafner, and then Shields comes with a cut fastball inside. Hafner doesn't recognize it, a little check swing, doesn't get away with the call. Pitch was supposed to be away, it ends up in off the plate.
Here is the rookie switch hitter, Zoilo Almonte. And the fastball is low, 1-0.
Well, from watching Shields through all the years with the Tampa Bay Rays, this would be a changeup count right here to a young hitter. Young hitter looking for the fastball. Shields would throw a good changeup, trying to get a double play ground ball.
Ground ball through for a base hit. Ichiro rounds third. They're going to hold him up. As Lowe comes up throwing, the throw is cut off by Hosmer. So a base hit for Almonte, and the bases are loaded.
Well, it was a 1-0 changeup. Almonte does a good job staying back a little bit, hitting it hard into right field. A little surprised third base coach Rob Thompson held up Ichiro coming around third base. Take a look at the timing right here. Base hit to right. Here comes Ichiro. Robbie Thompson waiting, then holds him. Lowe looked like a pretty strong throw right to Hosmer, the cutoff man.
Thompson tells you there's just 1 out, 1 run in. And here is Lyle Overbay, pinch hit, home run in the 7th inning yesterday, walked in the 9th. And a strike.
A lot of times if you talk to a third base coach about why he held a runner up at third, he'll say, you know who's coming up was Lyle Overbay, who's had that home run last night. He's got an opportunity here with the bases loaded.
Count 0-2.
You look at this situation, bases loaded with one of your most productive hitters, Lyle Overbay. You have to cash in. He's quickly behind 0-2.
Well, if you get a look, John, at Shields when he's in the set, I mean, his breath is so rapid, it almost seems like he's hyperventilating. The 0-2. 1-2.
Big pitch right there. Angel Hernandez does not give Shields a call. Borderline. Rez setting up off the plate, runs off, tries to bring it back, doesn't get the call. A good call by Angel Hernandez.
2-2. And Overbay swings and misses for the second out.
Everything that has gone on here in the first inning, if you only come away with one run, Shields would be very happy. Yankees obviously disappointed. Team that's struggling to score runs.
Calls out his catcher before taking on Nunez. Nunez has good numbers against Shields. 7 for 15 with 2 home runs. Yesterday Nunez did not start. He pinch hit in the 7th. He struck out and then struck out in the 9th. That one is driven out to right center. A long run for Kane, and he makes the play. If that goes over his head, it's a bases clearing double. So Nunez gave it a ride. Yankees do score one. They leave the bases loaded. Hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. We started it with this question: do you agree with MLB's decision to put Yasiel Puig in the final vote campaign for the All-Star game? Why or why not? Danny 128, 100% yes. The All-Star game is absolutely for the fans, and if Puig is what they want, Puig they should have. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius to keep the conversation going. I like it because he wasn't on the initial ballot. He's had an unbelievable 6 weeks, and let the fans choose.
I 100% agree. I can see both sides of the argument. He hasn't played a full first half. Tough to put him on the All-Star team, but if it's about the fans and they want to see him play, vote him in.
You know, my broadcast partner on the radio, Don LaGreca, had a really good point. When they hand out the All-Star ballots, it's usually the end of April. So you're voting for people that have only played a month or 20 games anyway at that point. So what's the harm if Puig, who's become, you know, somebody that everybody wants to see, if you get him on the All-Star game this way? I don't mind it at all. Now, speaking of voting, Puig is in the Final Five in the National League, and David Robertson is in the final 5 in the American League. Now, Yankee fans have the final say on this. You could vote for David Robertson as this year's final American League All-Star. Go to Yankees.com or text A3 to 89269 and cast your vote. Also, Thursday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., you could tweet hashtag High Sox for votes on Twitter. Any tweet or retweet counts as a vote. And I talked to David today, and he just came out and said, I really, really, really want to be on that team.
Now, is he taking the Nick Swisher approach from a few years ago where he's like an all-out, let's get this done? He's kind of a low-key guy.
He's low-key, but he is behind getting it done. He really wants to be on that team. And what I have heard is that you could actually vote as many times as you want. If you want to vote 1 million times, sit in front of a computer, you can do that. There's no limit to how many times. And the Yankees have teamed up with the Nationals to try to get Ian Desmond, who is also one of the final 5 in the National League, voted in alongside David Robertson as Perez grounds out sharply to Cruz.
So what is it? You vote for our guy, we'll vote for yours?
I guess so, yeah.
Wow.
It's an American League, National League alliance, and those are always very tough to defeat.
Tough.
And the Yankees have actually printed out T-shirts that a lot of the grounds crew members and people working around the stadium have actually started to wear. And there they are right there. Vote Robertson. D-Rob, they're at DRob30, which is his Twitter handle.
Now, where does he stand as we speak?
He's in second place. Lorenzo Cain takes a strike. I think first is Steve Delabar of the Toronto Blue Jays. And some of these guys are very creative because Delabar tweeted out a picture of his daughter, who must be about 6 or 8 months. And she's wearing a little T-shirt, vote for my daddy.
That's not fair, is it? The sentimental vote?
I like it. You run a well-run campaign, you can get elected. The 0-2. Strike 3. Kane down looking. Another 1-2-3 inning for CC Sabathia. We're going to the bottom of the second. Yankees lead this one 1-0. Live Yes Network Yankee games on your PCs or laptops with Verizon Fios. Get a full season of live Yankee games on the go for just $29.99. And if you're a Verizon Fios TV customer with Fios Internet, go to YesNetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. The bench on the Kansas City side barking at Angel Hernandez about that strike 3 call that ended the second. And Luis Cruz hits one deep to left center field. Giving chase is Kane, and he makes the play on the run and on the track for the first out. Covering a lot of ground out there in center.
I'll tell you what, I was impressed with the Nunez shot to right center. Kane ran that down easily. Cruz hits this ball hard to left center field. Again, Kane just settles underneath it, and George Brett cannot believe the home plate strike zone of Angel Hernandez. There's that little sign right there, flip a coin.
Angel gets a lot of grief from teams.
How come Angel always seems to find his way into a ball game where you start talking about him?
Chris Stewart takes outside 1-0. That is a long, it's almost a bobblehead head check. Now, I thought that pitch was not a strike, but I don't think it was as dramatically
brutal,
bad
right,
as he's making it out to be.
Right. You know, but there's a hitting instructor standing up for his teammates. And I think he also realizes Sabathia has some pretty good stuff tonight. And if Angel Hernandez is going to give him a little bit more off the plate, he'll take advantage. Kevin Long, hitting instructor for the Yankees, going back and forth with George Brett about the home plate umpire. Let's see the pitching coach is complaining at all.
The 2-1. 2-2.
We'll see if Shields gets better as this game goes on. Yankees had huge opportunity in the first inning, only picked up 1 run.
Served into right field. And Chris Stewart continues his hot hitting. He's now 5 for his last 8. Now let's check out the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 82 degrees, humidity is 63%, the wind 10 miles per hour. There's possible showers in the forecast. We had a 59-minute rain delay yesterday, and the skies look a little bit clearer tonight. But we'll see if it holds up. So that's the Yankees' 5th hit. And here's Gardner, who led off with a bunt single in the first inning and came around to score the only run in the game.
With that bunt base hit, Tejada playing in on the grass. Opportunity for Brett Gardner to slap it right by him.
That's what he tried to do. A little foul ball.
So surprising with Brett Gardner when he goes through these slow times at the plate that he wouldn't pick up some more cheap base hits, you know, ground balls that he beats out, infield hits to keep that batting average where he wants it to be.
Now Kevin Long, the hitting coach, said he thinks that part of the slump could be, as Girardi had mentioned, the grind of playing every day, being a speed guy, so there's a lot of wear and tear on your legs. But he also expanded it to this, John. He said, and Gardner said this yesterday, he's expanding the strike zone a bit too much, especially with 2 strikes.
Well, and he got hot at the plate when he got more aggressive, you know. But the problem is now he's swinging the balls out of the zone. You want to keep that aggressiveness, but still have that good pitch recognition.
Grounded to second. There's one. Back to first. Double play. So Shields gets a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. No runs a hit. Nobody left on base. We're going to the 3rd. It's 1-0 Yanks. For the MetLife I Can Do This stat of the game, and it regards CC Sabathia. He's 13-0 in his last 13 starts against American League Central opponents. And we showed that stat earlier, John. The Yankees 10 games over 500 against the American League Central. That includes being 1-2 against the Tigers. So they're getting fat against these teams.
Well, they're hoping that's going to continue here these next 3 days against Kansas City, and then the Twins coming in right before the All-Star break.
All right, bottom third of the order here in the third, and it starts with the veteran Miguel Tejada. Lincoln scoreboard 1-0 Yankees. Tejada kind of had a nice resume tape put together. He played for the Dominican Republic in the WBC this year. And he was 6 for 19 and kind of spread the word I could still play. Signed with the Royals as a non-roster player in spring training. Made the team. And he's putting up pretty good numbers, the former American League MVP.
Getting opportunity against some left-handed pitching. Obviously Sabathia tonight.
Why don't we take a look at the hitters scouting report brought to you by Chrysler.
Well, he's a 6-time All-Star, and now he's a reserve player for the Kansas City Royals and was the MVP in 2002 with the A's. And good numbers against Sabathia, 311 with a couple of home runs.
And there's a base hit for Tejada. And John, when you see a guy who's a 6-time All-Star and then an MVP, and he's very cool about being a bench player, he just loves playing baseball.
Well, he loves playing baseball. I'm sure he's a great guy in the clubhouse around some of these young kids. You know, kind of showing them what it takes to be a big leaguer and putting up good numbers, hitting just below 300 in a reserve role.
So runner on first base, and that'll bring up Johnny Giavatola. And he has won for his last 17. That one was yesterday. And Giavatola takes low. Well, we're joined here in the booth by my co-star in an upcoming movie.
Wow, yeah. That's who he is?
Yeah. It's Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
What's up, Adam?
I'm very happy for you. You steal the movie. You really do.
I'm thrilled. And I think this could be a spinoff.
I have to go check this out.
You have to see the man. Michael is he dominates. He's a bigger man than you think, right?
I don't even want to go there.
There he is.
You want to telestrate it?
Yeah, you. This is where you were thinking in your head. What is my line? You did it. You did it. You're very good.
I kind of channeled Belichick there. That was kind of
that was
my motivation.
You got it.
The 2-0. And for those that don't know, Grown Ups 2 is coming out on Friday.
This is where I was telling you, you better get it right. And you was a little nervous, and this kid was, we didn't want to talk to him.
He was a he was a calming influence, though.
Yeah. Nice boy.
I like kids on the set. That's something I've learned.
Yeah. You keep them around. Look at that. Look how happy we were in those days.
A long time ago.
That's, we didn't know the injuries were coming to the Yankees then.
The 2-1. That one's grounded to third. There's one on to first.
That's what we like. Ooh. We didn't like that.
You just channeled Rizzuto a little bit. Take us through the replay.
Okay, I like what I see. I'm enjoying the out. Cano zings it over. I see. Yeah, he beat it by whatever he beat it by, but good for him. His parents are happy.
Now, you excited about this movie? The first one did very well.
Grown Ups 2 is a good family, funny movie, and I'm very happy. But I am mostly excited to be here tonight.
You're a big Yankee fan. That's
yes,
not an act. I mean,
no, it isn't.
A lot of people play an act, but you don't.
This is one of the only times I feel confident talking is when I talk about the Yankees and my love for them. Except I was out of town. I was, let's get that.
Gardner runs it down to take an
go.
Extra base hit away from Lowe.
For the Yankee fans out there, Gardner is fast. See what I'm saying?
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, that was good.
So that is the second out.
Grown Ups 2, Michael, honestly, I can't wait for you to see. You can't come to the premiere tomorrow night, right?
No, because I have to do the game, but I will see it Friday. I'm going to go to the 11 o'clock show after the game.
Your scene does quite well. He's a football coach, and I'm teaching my kid how to be a kicker because I don't want him to get hurt. And then I think I trip and break my kid's leg anyways. and Michael's there to pick up the pieces. Sort of, right?
It's an integral part of the movie.
It's a moment. It sets up a lot of things.
Now, we know Michael is high maintenance here in the booth. Was he tough to deal with on the set?
He had one outburst where he was screaming, "I want my grilled cheese," and but he got past that, and we all were happy.
The 1-0 inside. Now, John, what I'm excited about, I play a football coach, Coach Romy, and I really believe that Adam, as brilliant as he is, could spin this off and make this a franchise, maybe even a sitcom or some kind of movie franchise. So I'm excited about that. It's my next step.
In the off season, we'll get you the sitcom, maybe 6 shows. That's all you got time for.
Not a big commitment?
No, we got to keep you here. But yeah, you really were relaxed out there as the coach. You felt like a coach, right?
I felt like a coach. I mean, when you gave me my own trailer, I felt like a star too. That was really cool.
That was really nice of you.
Yeah.
Didn't you have to talk to my mother also?
Yes, she was very cool.
My mother was showing her Yankee skills.
As Gordon works a walk, first and second.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you remember this in 2005, Adam? You and Chris Rock?
I remember Chris Rock making a terrible pitch. I wasn't that good either, but Chris. Yeah, that's right, baby. Thank you.
Now, you spent a lot of time with John Flaherty before that first pitch, right, John?
We did. We spent a lot of time together. Adam came in, I think, with your dad. Was that right? Or
it was my manager. The guy looks like my dad. Yeah.
And I happened to be catching that day. We hung out, went through a little pregame routine because we didn't take batting practice that day.
But I was very tense. You calmed me down. You didn't calm down Rock, though. He chucked it deep into the net.
You know what? I have a picture of that. Adam and I out on kind of greeting each other after that pitch in my basement, and my kids think that's like the coolest thing ever. Not that I played baseball, but that I know you. I love that.
I got you in my office. That same picture. I swear to God. Thanks, man.
That one is fouled away. Now, was that the time you threw out the first pitch and you told Carl Pavano good luck?
It is.
That's the one?
It was no. That was another one. No, this was. You guys were playing the Red Sox, and Johnny Damon was across on the dugout, and he wasn't a Yankee yet. And I just remember having venom, just staring at Johnny Damon, knowing how much pain he has caused me, and then he waved to me, and my heart broke. I was like, "Oh, what a nice guy," and I waved back. Yeah.
First and second, 2 outs. Yankees lead 1-0. We're talking with Adam Sandler.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
There's a fly ball to right.
That's it. Ichiro's cool, huh?
Absolutely. Adam, I can't wait for this movie. I can't wait to be in it. There's the two of us,
baby.
and it was really one of the coolest things I've ever done.
You were great.
Good luck with the movie.
Love that you're in it, buddy.
Great to see you.
Good to see you again, buddy. Thank you.
Yes, is brought to you in part by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the New York Yankees. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2013 Pilot. When we go to the bottom of the third, it's 1-0 Yankees on the Lincoln scoreboard. Ichiro Suzuki will lead off against James Shields. And the right-hander deals. John, I just want to say one thing, and I'm sure that you got this sense when you spent that time with him in the clubhouse. That's one of the most down-to-earth, nicest, famous people that I have ever met.
There's no ego there.
Just a real guy.
Just a real guy. Now, were you more nervous shooting that scene for the movie, or let's say your first day doing a Yankee game?
No, not even close. First day doing a Yankee game.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, he made it so easy. I mean, he was so accommodating and nice, and like during my scene, we're in the same scene, but you know it's on different cameras. So he was actually directing me himself off to the side, feeding me more lines just to see what lines would work. So he made it just a really enjoyable day. So I'm really looking for big things from this.
Well, you know what? You put a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah.
Basically threw it out there and said, you got to help me out with a second career part-time gig.
Coach Romy spinoff. Imagine how he would be celebrated, John, if he could turn a no-talent slug like me into a movie star. It'd be big.
Now, how did you get this opportunity? When he was on center stage?
We had him on center stage, and I said, you know, your movies are so can't miss that you could actually put me in it, and it would be big. And he goes, you're in. And I never, you know, and we said thank you, end of the show. And about 6 months later, I get a phone. I don't know how he got my number. He calls me and said, I wrote a part for you in this movie. Unbelievable. So he was a man of his word. The 3-2. Grounded to short. Escobar is there, and he gets the hustling Ichiro by a step. Now, while we were talking to Adam, a couple of nice plays by the Yankees. The Brett Gardner play was very, very nice, and that saved a big inning there against Sabathia.
We're seeing some center fielders tonight covering some ground. Lorenzo Cain for the Royals. Brett Gardner.
Here's Cano. And there's a strike.
I don't know if you're Joe Girardi or Kevin Long in that Yankee dugout, though. You're thinking back to that first inning where you had the bases loaded, thinking you had a shot for a big inning. You only get one run, and now it looks like Shields is getting a little bit better. Angel Hernandez has had enough. He's hearing it from both dugouts.
Okay? I'm just telling you that. Okay.
You know what's amazing to me, John, and I mean, we kind of touched on it before. Every time you have a game with Angel Hernandez in it, somehow he becomes part of the game. Where he's barking at somebody, they're barking at him. It can't be a coincidence.
Well, Angel was involved in that replay, home run replay in Cleveland, right, where it was clearly a home run, and he called it a double.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Rosales hit that ball for the A's. As a catcher behind the plate, when you see an umpire like Hernandez giving you off the plate, try to exploit that early on. Your players say all the time, if you're going to be consistent, then we don't have a problem with it. Just don't change that zone as the game moves on.
Count 3-2 to Cano. Cano with an RBI single in the first. That's the run in this game. 1-0 Yanks. Great pitching matchup on paper. This is the 8th time that Shields and Sabathia have hooked up. And Cano works a walk.
I was interested to see what pitch Shields would come with there in a 3-2 count. We've already shown you the numbers. Robinson Cano owns James Shields. He doesn't shy away. He goes with the fastball and he misses, but he was looking to challenge Robinson Cano. I thought he might go off speed.
Here's Hafner. He is 1 for his last 15 after a strikeout in the first inning. The 0-1. 1-1. One and two.
We already saw a first pitch fastball to Hafner that he was fooled on. See if Shields comes back with that 1-2. He's thrown his fastball a little bit more, something we talked about early on. Throw your fastball more, you're going to get more swings and misses on that changeup. It's his best pitch. Threw it, just missed down and away.
Three and two.
A lot of deep counts for Shields. Already 50 pitches. As the guys used to going deep into ball games, has thrown 122 pitches in a game this year. The Yankees making him work early, trying to get into that bullpen middle relief for the Kansas City Royals. The back end of their bullpen is a strength. You want to see some of those middle relievers.
Runner was going as Hafner walked, second straight walk issued by Shields.
Dave Island, pitching coach for the Royals, formerly a pitching coach of the New York Yankees. Also spent some time with the Tampa Bay Rays, behind the scenes doing a little scouting, so he knows plenty about James Shields from their time together there.
Perez makes everybody look small on the mound, and he stands right on the top, and everybody else is on the downside. It's gigantic. Yesterday, he towered over Tim Collins.
Collins only 5'7". Everybody raves about Perez behind the plate. The job he does calling a game, blocking, throwing. Obviously an all-star this year. Somebody they're going to try to build around in the future.
Almonte singled in the first, single to right, first and second, one out. This ground ball short. This could be two. There's one, and there's two. A 6-6-3 double play as Shields flirts with trouble but gets out of it with the twin killing. We go to the fourth. Free help today. George Brett was the AL MVP runner-up in 76 and 85. Who won the awards in each of those seasons? Well, I know one of them. George, the interim batting coach with the Royals, still is not committed to the full season. And the pitch to Hosmer is a strike from Sabathia as we start the fourth inning.
We talked about George Brett last night and what a change he has made in the clubhouse with some of these young kids, kind of bringing in intensity.
There's got to be something said for the guy who comes in with the hardware. Where, I mean, this guy is one of the best hitters of all time. Won a World Series, won a batting title, flirted with 400. They can look him up. They know the story of George Brett. When he says something, they're going to listen.
A Hall of Famer, obviously, and just a Kansas City Royal legend. When he walks in that clubhouse, he will get your attention. I don't care if you're a Tejada who's played forever or you're a young kid. Now there's some accountability in there. You got to answer to that man. They played better baseball.
Hosmer swings and misses at the fastball for the first out.
Kansas City Royals say that George Brett doesn't really talk too much about mechanics. He's more about the mentality of hitting and going up there with a game plan. And you know, if you're a fastball hitter, go looking for the fastball in a certain spot and make sure you don't miss it.
Here's Billy Butler. And I've also talked to guys that didn't have distinguished major league careers that become managers or coaches, and they admit that they have to work harder because they don't have that built-in respect from the players today. Because, you know, what have you done? You haven't been up here. So those guys work a little bit harder. There's a ground ball to short. Nunez plays it to the side for the second out.
We saw this in last night's game. The Kansas City Royals will swing the bats early in counts, and Sabathia taking advantage of that. Ground ball to Nunez early in the count. Pitch count in great shape after he threw 121 his last time out.
Here's Salvador Perez. And a strike. 0 for his last 10, 5 for his last 22. He is going to the All-Star game a week from today. And now he's 0 for his last 11. As Cano gets him at first, another 1-2-3 inning for CC Sabathia. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Yankees are up in this one, 1-0. State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. George Brett with the AL MVP runner-up in 76 and 85. Who won the award in each of those seasons? 76 was the captain, Thurman Munson. I'm not sure about 85. So let's see. Don Mattingly.
Captain
I
as
should
well.
be ashamed of myself. Wow. That's right, 2 captains right there. And here's Overbay. And a strike. Overbay struck out in the first. The first out. Now, one of the reasons, or the main reason, that the Royals went out and got Shields is they thought that they were right there. That in the Central and with the 2 wild cards that they could compete for a postseason spot. They felt that their young positional players were progressing and they just didn't have enough pitching. And they felt a guy like Shields could be the anchor to their staff, and that's why they gave up a highly coveted player like Will Myers. And they are right there. They got off to a slow start, but they are just 5 back in the loss column from the Tigers. But the Major League Baseball season is probably the truest test of a champion. It's hard to fake your way in over 162 games. All of your weaknesses are going to be exposed. Now, I believe, John, with the 2 wild cards, you might get a somewhat less deserving team that makes its way in and then can get hot at the end. But for the most part, I think it's the truest test of a champion in any of the major sports.
I totally agree. You know, there are so many teams that are right in the Central, so many teams that are right in the American League East, and you know, you start putting your general manager's hat on, and who's buyers, who's sellers. That second wild card keeps a lot of teams in play.
And with the trade deadline at the end of July, so many teams are going to be within striking distance that there are a lot of people that think that maybe the trade deadline should be pushed to maybe at least the middle of August so people can get a better read on what they are and where they're going. So I mean, you have to really, really be out of it to say, okay, we're sellers at the end of July.
Chicago Cubs, Matt Garza, having some very good starts since coming off the disabled list. know if I'd consider Garza number 1, but definitely a 2 on a staff would help any club down the stretch. If you look at this Kansas City Royal team, they probably need a bat in right field to hit for a little bit more power. They're not a power hitting team. Pitching staff has been excellent.
Nunez has worked the count full. Three-two. Driven out into right center. Lorenzo Cain got a good jump and hauls it in for the second out.
Lorenzo Cain is putting on a show in center field. He had a great jump on Nunez's first line drive. This one he comes in the sliding catch. We've seen him range to left center field, covering a lot of ground. A great look on Yesmo, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Looks it right into the glove.
Gotta love it if you're the pitcher. Here's Cruz. Jumps out of the way of that pitch. 1-0.
Cruz was the one who hit that deep fly ball to left center field that Cain also made a gliding catch on, covering a lot of ground.
And that one's popped up. Giovatello will make the play, and a 1-2-3 inning for Shields against the Yankees. We played 4 full here at the stadium. Yankees lead this one 1-0. And Jack a little bit later on, as well as Meredith. And Meredith Marakovich joins us now right here in the booth. And Meredith, this is day 2 of Hope Week, which is always a very special week on the Yankee calendar, and another very special tribute by the Yankees.
Well, Michael, I have to tell you, day 2 certainly didn't disappoint. They were at the Ronald McDonald House earlier today on the Upper East Side on 73rd Street in between 1st and York, and they were there because of a little 10-year-old girl called Autumn Blinn. She started Pillows of Love, and it's a organization where she makes pillows for those who are struggling and are receiving treatment for cancer, and goes there and hands out the pillows. So the Yankees actually flew her to New York, and her family went to the Ronald McDonald House, and you see Autumn right there, excited with one of her pillows as she walks through the Ronald McDonald House. Joe Girardi on hand, his daughter Serena, as they spoke to some of the kids, signed some autographs, a little dance party there. by Eduardo Nunez, and you saw the smiles on the face. It really meant a lot, not only the pillows, but the fact that the Yankees were there and that they were able to kind of give those kids some joy, only if it was only for a couple minutes. Still definitely love to see him there. And you see David Robertson, who was actually at the event earlier today, handing out the check, and then Autumn did go on to throw out the first pitch.
It's amazing that this girl has this kind of empathy for those in need. She's 10 years old.
Well, it's funny because I asked a couple of the guys that were there, what were you doing when you were 10 years old? And they said, I certainly didn't have the wherewithal to start something like this. And it originated from her grandfather who was sick. He was on dialysis, and she made him a pillow. And he just kept talking about how much he loved that pillow, saying other people that were receiving treatment wanted pillows as well. And he said, anytime you can get them done, it's fine. And she said, no, I'll get them done by the next time you do treatment. If people want pillows and it's going to bring them some comfort, I want to have them done. So that's kind of how it started, and she's continued it. And she doesn't want anything for them. She doesn't want any recognition, doesn't want anyone to...
And Overbay could not get there.
Doesn't want anyone to really make this about her. She wants it to be about the patients and the people that she's trying to bring joy to. So it's amazing that at 10 you have that type of mentality, and you go through it the way you do. As you get another look at this play on the ball by Overbay, just out of the grasp of his glove.
No, it's interesting. That almost is in lockstep to what this is about and what Hope Week is about. And the late George Steinbrenner had a saying that if you do something nice for somebody and more than that person and you know about it, you did it for the wrong reason. So this girl sounds like she doesn't want any credit.
Not at all, and she was so floored when she walked into the Ronald McDonald House and saw the New York Yankees. She said she just couldn't believe it. She thought somebody was playing a trick on her. She never expected any of this, but she certainly had a smile on her face all day and has been enjoying the day.
Tejada grounds out to Nunez for the second out. Now, tomorrow's pregame, you'll have the full-length feature on day 2, and you'll also be covering day 3 as well.
We will. We had the story that we talked about yesterday on today, and we'll see this one tomorrow. And tomorrow's story, also a good one, dealing with an animal shelter in the Bronx. So I'm looking forward to going to that one and seeing exactly what the next Hope Week honoree is all about.
Now, Jason Zillo, the Yankees media relations director, has spearheaded Hope Week. It really was his baby when it started in 2009, and it's become so popular and noticed that now the Yankees get swamped by people that want to be, included in Hope Week, and it's a lot to just whittle it down to the 5 that they do.
They have to go through all the applicants, ones that they found on their own, some that people have submitted saying this person is certainly a good candidate for Hope Week, but they certainly go through and make sure people want to be involved for the right reasons, really research the stories and see what these people are about and see what their organization stands for. And if you see with Pillows of Love, even the one yesterday, the Rockaway Special Athletes, just awesome organizations that they picked so far.
Cruz with a diving stop gets Giovitella, and that will do it. Meredith, great job. We'll talk to you later.
Sounds good, Michael.
All right, so a full body dive by Cruz. He gets up and gets the speedy Giovitella. We're halfway through. Yankees up by 1. tomorrow night, and then a matinee on Thursday. And then over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Twins Friday night. And 2 105 starts Saturday and Sunday. Then it's the All-Star break, 4 games for everybody. The game is on Fox on Tuesday. You know that Mariano Rivera and Robinson Cano will be representing the Yankees, and the Yankees hoping that David Robertson gets in the final vote. And then the second half of the season starts with 3 at Fenway Park. Chris Stewart takes inside. Got to send out birthday wishes, John. John Moore,
yes,
is our director here at Yes. And this is not hyperbole. He is one of the best directors in the history of televised baseball. That's how good he is, and we're lucky to have him. And today his birthday, so we want to wish John a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, John.
Chris Stewart gets robbed of a hit. Another sliding catch by Lorenzo Cain for the first out, and it's starting to rain here at the stadium. And it's coming down pretty hard.
Well, Cain just having one of those nights where he's getting opportunities for sliding catches coming towards the infield, running catches to the gaps. And he's been up to the task all night long, robbing Chris Stewart of his second hit of the night.
Fans scurrying for cover as the rain comes down a little bit harder. Yesterday, a 59-minute rain delay. And that was in the bottom of the 4th. It's now the bottom of the 5th. Brett Gardner takes a strike. So it looks bad on the right. Looks clear on the left. And behind home plate doesn't look too great.
Well, both teams at this point would hate to see a delay. CC Sabathia has been locked in from the first inning. James Shields had a rough first inning, but he has regrouped. Danny Cunningham, head groundskeeper, looking on. I'm sure he's got the forecast, the radar.
He said make it rain, and you know what? It started. Grounded to second. And Gardner goes down for the second out. Well, it's been pretty much a highlight reel for Lorenzo Cain today, John.
He's been all over center field here, going to right center, cruising on the track. Now he takes a drive away from Cruz in left center. Nunez again coming in, the sliding catch. And then Chris Stewart tries the same thing, but Lorenzo Cain up to the challenge tonight in center field.
Here's Ichiro. Looks like the rain has subsided as people are heading back to their seats. It was one of the strangest foul balls. It came off the bat at a very odd angle.
That's what a good changeup will make a hitter look bad, as Ichiro flailing towards his dugout off the end of the bat.
One and two. Ichiro has been hitting very well lately. 17 hits in his last 50 at bats. That's good for 340.
Tejada had a little bit more room than he thought he had right there. Kind of pulled up short of the fence. Take a look at that swing from Ichiro Suzuki. It's a changeup almost off the ground, and the ability just to foul it off, give himself another chance to see another pitch. Well, Michael, you mentioned those good numbers for Ichiro lately. He's been a hot hitter, but this at bat, he's really off balance, and you can never really say he's always 100% balanced with all that movement he has in the box.
And a ground ball to second. And another 1, 2, 3 innings for James Shields. We've played 5 here at the stadium. It's a tight one. The pitcher's duel that we expected. Yankees won and the Royals nothing.
And center stage with Michael Kay. Later tonight, basketball great Earl the Pearl Monroe takes a seat to discuss his championship with the Knicks. Then tomorrow, Michael sits down with tennis superstar Venus Williams. It all starts tonight after the postgame, only on Yes.
2 very interesting guests. Hope you tune in. David Lowe takes outside, and we're taping 2 shows on Friday, John. The famed producer and director Ronnie Howard, Opie, and Richie Cunningham. And also Willie Randolph.
Willie?
Yeah. So looking forward to that. And if you'd like to get tickets to those shows, just go to yesnetwork.com. They're taped in New York, so that'll be Friday, this Friday. Lowe with a high drive to right field. Fair ball, it's a tie game. God, a home run for David Lowe. It's 1-1. He really hit that into the second deck.
I was saying earlier that the Kansas City Royals probably needed to go get a bat at the deadline for right field. Maybe a little power out there. Well, Lowe decides I'm going to show George Brett and the coaching staff that I have a little pop in my bat too. A fastball in, his 3rd home run of the year. Sabathia, who's really been cruising through the first 5 innings. First sign of trouble, tie ball game.
Alex Gordon takes outside. When you don't score a lot of runs, the margin of error is so small for a pitcher. They can't afford to make a mistake like that. It makes it tougher to pitch, too.
Also puts a lot of pressure on the catcher behind the plate with pitch selection. And you know that one swing of the bat could be the difference in the ball game, whether it's in the 4th, 5th, or 6th inning.
Third home run for Lowe. Really ugly clouds over the right field grandstand. Foreboding to say the least. Checked his swing, fouled it off, and went down.
Doesn't look like he's going to first base like it hit him. He turns, and it's a foul ball. Thought maybe that got him in the left arm, possibly the shoulder, but the check swing, foul ball, gets a piece of Chris Stewart. Diving into the plate. I mentioned his good numbers against left-handed pitchers coming into this game. Lights the ball out over the plate. We saw him drive one the other way last night.
Fly ball right field. Ichiro is there to make the play for the first out here in the sixth. Here's Alcides Escobar. And he bunch foul.
Michael, I mentioned last night that the Royals kind of taking the old Cleveland Indians approach to locking up some of their young players. Remember those Kenny Lofton days, Carlos Baerga giving them multi-year contracts, and a player like Escobar, they signed him through 2015. Same thing with Alex Gordon. Butler is signed through 14, and Perez, the catcher, signed through 2016. Trying to keep their core players.
One guy who turned down their offer is Hosmer, and they got a little nervous about that.
Scott Boras guy, right?
Right. And Scott doesn't usually lock up any of his players to an early contract. Driven to deep left center field, and going back is Gardner, and he makes the play on the back pedal for the second out.
We got two center fielders showing off a little bit tonight. Lorenzo Cain for the Royals, and Brett Gardner covering a lot of ground on that fly ball from Escobar. Right on that warning track, turns, makes the play.
Here's Hosmer. And a strike.
Sabathia, his fastball location has been outstanding tonight. Staying out of the middle of the plate. Fastball to Hosmer, down and away. You do nothing with it.
Foul tipped that one. The count 0-2. Pitch count is fine. 70. 2 outs here in the sixth. So working economically. You know, you see this the sky over the right field grandstand, and then you see the grounds crew poised in the third base camera well, and that's usually not a good combination. So hoping the rain stays away. 1-2. 2-2.
possibility of rain. It makes that home run by Lowe tying the game up a bigger deal here in the 6th inning.
Popped up, Cano backpedals and makes a play, and that'll do it. But the Royals have tied it. The number 9 hitter in the lineup, Lowe, goes high and far and gone. Go to the bottom of the 6th, 1-1. Twins for a special giveaway that's great for the summertime. The first 18,000 guests in attendance receive a beach towel courtesy of Pepsi. Now for tickets, go to Yankees.com, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Robinson Cano leads off the bottom of the 6th. Count 1-0. Starting to rain again here at the stadium. Pitch outside, 2-0. 1-1 game. Royals with 2 hits. One of those hits, though, the Lowe home run. And then Robinson Cano with an RBI single in the first gave the Yankees a 1-0 lead. Now it's 1-1. Pitch outside, 3-0. Cano walked his last time up. Strike, 3-1.
You would assume Robinson Cano would have the green light, 3-0. It looked like he didn't have any intent on swinging the bat. Huge numbers against Shields. We'll see if Shields comes right at him here, 3-1, with a tie ball game.
Grounded to first. Hosmer with the tough hop on the backhand for the first out.
Good pitch by Shields. A cut fastball in on the hands of Robinson Cano. Just beats him enough. Pretty routine play for Hosmer with the backhand.
That'll bring up Hafner. Hafner struck out in the first and walked in the third. His average down to 219. Most of his home run and RBI damage came in the first month.
You can deal with the low batting average from Hafner, but you need the power to come back a little bit. In the middle of your lineup. Meanwhile, Shields, who is coming off 3 outings that have not been his best, and a rough first inning, has rebounded nicely.
2-1. Now his record is 3-6. John mentioned his last 3 outings haven't been that great, but the Royals have won his last 7 starts.
Shields 6 no decisions in those 7 starts, 1 win. He's using his fastball more tonight than he has in the past.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Shields gets better as the game goes on. Opponents at 206 against him, 3rd time through the order. And that average just got better as Hafner's got worse. He strikes out for the 2nd time tonight.
And that's a difference there. If you can throw your fastball and get a major league hitter thinking about the velocity, you will get a lot of swings and misses on that changeup. Good action down and away.
And Shields comes from Tampa Bay, and John, we've noticed right throughout their system, Tampa Bay really stresses the changeup. That is the pitch they want all of their pitchers to use. And you know what? It is such an effective pitch.
Well, it's an effective pitch, and it also is easier on your arm than the slider and the curveball. Just a tough pitch to get a feel for because pitchers have a tendency to slow down with their motion. They don't sell the pitch all that well. Obviously, that is not Shields. He has mastered it.
And you talk to anybody who's played the game, and they always say hitting is about timing. So if you can throw timing off, and that's certainly everything that a changeup's about, then you've got, a step up. And all of the Tampa Bay Ray pitchers throw changeups. And that's where Shields is from. Here's the 0-2. 1-2.
Well, he has the perfect separation too in velocity. He throws 93, 94 with a fastball, changeup at about 84, 85. Pitching coaches will tell you they want at least 10 miles an hour off of the fastball with the changeup. That'll give you the deception to keep hitters off balance.
John, you've always told me that when you played, you sat dead red, so an effective changeup would probably have been a bad pitch.
I had no chance. And even off a guy like Jamie Moyer, who didn't throw real hard, and he just threw me changeup after changeup. In your mind, you're always looking fastball.
And there you have it as he strikes out Almonte. And again, the Yankees go down in order. He's retired the last 10 Yankees he's faced. We go to the 7th, 1-1. Well, we go to the 7th inning. It's a 1-1 game. We thought it would be a pitcher's duel, and that's certainly what it is. And Sabathia has been good tonight.
Well, he's been really good. The fastball location has been impressive right from the first inning. Velocity may be a tick below what he was throwing in Minnesota, but he's been able to locate in, out, up, down.
Butler fouls it away. Well, we saw the pitching matchup early, and they have certainly lived up to it. 5 hits and 6 innings for Shields with 1 run. Sabathia 2 hits in 6 innings and just 1 run. Both have struck out 4. That one is driven deep to left field. Going back Almonte on the track, looking up. See ya. A home run for Billy Butler, and the Royals lead 2-1. Hit a home run last night. That was to right field. He pulls this one. It's his 8th home run of the year.
Well, his 8th home run of the year is a big one. Another solo shot for the Kansas City Royals. Check out where Chris Stewart has his glove, and CC Sabathia actually hit the spot that he wanted to. Butler just beat him there. Known more as a doubles hitter than a home run hitter. His 8th of the year, a big one, giving the Royals a lead.
Here's Perez. Count 1-0.
Michael, I know I've said this before, but if you're the Yankees, you're thinking back to that first inning. Bases loaded, 1 out. Already had a run in. We're not able to add on.
Grounded to third. Cruz backs up. And Perez doesn't run very well. And he gets gunned down by plenty for the first out.
And he's actually batting some leg issues too. Missed the game a couple of days ago. Back in the lineup, but not 100% physically.
He's had knee issues.
Watch him coming out of the box here. Pretty routine play for Cruz. The catcher kind of Cadillacs it down the line, nursing those injuries.
Speaking of Cadillac, the Cadillac scoreboard shows us 2-1. The Royals leading. Both runs, solo home runs. Lorenzo Cain takes a strike. We're in the top of the 7th inning here at the stadium. 2-1 Royals. Cain's done the job in center field, offensively 0 for 2. There's a base hit. So Gardner gets it in, and Cain with a 1-out single. 2 years ago on July 9th, that's tonight. 2 years ago tonight, David Price, Jeter, his 3,000th hit. And what a day here in the Bronx. He ended up winning the game as well. Just a picture-perfect afternoon in the Bronx, and Derek trying to work his way back to the Bronx.
5 hits that afternoon for Derek Jeter.
2 years ago today, both of us were in the booth. And that was the Saturday before the All-Star break. Tejada's 1 for 2. Gardner took a step back, now coming in. He'll make the play to retire Tejada for the second out. Speaking of Derek Jeter, it's time for the injury report. Brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center, Inspired Medicine. He is not scheduled to play today for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. In 3 games, 1 for 6, 2 runs, 4 walks, and he is scheduled to play shortstop tomorrow with the Rail Riders. He was enlisting the media yesterday to write that he was all over the field playing shortstop, that maybe the Yankees would read it and get him up here. Giovatello takes low.
See if Ned Yost plays a little small ball here with Giovatello. Cain has some speed at first base. 9 stolen bases on the year. Has been thrown out 4 times.
1-1. That's really where CC's fastball lives. Occasionally he'll get it to 93. Very, very infrequently 94. He's usually at 91, 92. And Joe Girardi said the other day, well, that's where it's going to be. It's gone down consistently over the last couple of years, but he can still pitch at a very high level with that velocity on his fastball. Shattered bat, the ground ball to Cano, and he boots it. Everybody is safe. We'll see how they score. That should be an E4.
You wonder if the lip of the grass kind of got in the way of Robinson Cano. You see that bat that shattered out to the back of the mound.
They give a base hit, John?
Base hit. See if the ball hits the lip, which it does, and comes up and hits him on the heel of the glove. CC Sabathia had a piece of that bat come right back towards him.
Now, 7th inning, runners in scoring position, always a high pressure situation. But with the Yankees' inability to score a lot of runs, such a big spot in this game right now, you just can't afford to give up more. And here's David Lowe. There's a strike.
And also you have to talk about the Kansas City bullpen, and especially the back end with Greg Holland. We saw him last night throwing 99 miles an hour. The back end of the bullpen is a strength for Kansas City. Michael, you mentioned the velocity, or maybe lack of velocity, for Sabathia, and the difference is the 2 home runs he's given up, he's hit the glove. He's thrown the fastball where he's wanted to. But in the low 90s, a couple of solo home runs, and yeah, you can win plenty of games giving up 2 runs through 7 innings. The Yankees have to help him out offensively tonight.
The 0-2. Did he hold up? No, he did not. So David Lowe down on strikes, tagged out by Stewart, and that will do it. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base at the end of 6.5 innings of play. It's time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. Kansas City Royals 2 and the New York Yankees 1, but we'll stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
And remove your cap. And please direct your attention to the area behind home plate. And welcome 2 honored guests of the New York Yankees. United States Army Specialist James O'Leary, who served in Operation Iraqi Freedom and is a Purple Heart recipient. And United States Coast Guard 03 Lieutenant Catherine Usler, who also served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. The Yankees say thank you for your sacrifice and service to our nation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean.
2-1 Royals, so we'll take a look at the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. Each team with 5 hits, but a couple of solo home runs for the Royals. The difference low in the 6th, Butler in the 7th to break a 1-1 tie. The Yankees got their run in the first inning, an RBI single by Cano. But you mentioned this, John, a team that's struggling to score runs. So the Yankees get that run, and then they have the bases loaded, 1 out, and they can't get any more in. Overbay strikes out. Nunez flies out to center field.
Yeah, the Overbay at bat was a killer. The strikeout not putting the ball in play as Mike Moustakas takes over at third base for Tejada. And Nunez hit the ball right on the nose, a line drive to Kane in center field. But when you have an inning like that, you don't capitalize with a big inning. You always think back to it.
Cadillac scoreboard 2-1 KC, and the pitch outside 1-0.
And Michael had a conversation with Joe Girardi behind the batting cage this afternoon about last night's ball game and all the moves that he made pinch hitting in the 7th inning. And he's got a lot of respect for the back end of the Kansas City bullpen. And he felt like he had to win the game in the 7th inning.
Fly ball center field. Kane is there. 1 out. Shields is certainly settled into a groove. We told you about he becomes better as the game moves on, especially his 3rd time through the order. And John just alluded to it, and we mentioned it yesterday. That's a pretty good bullpen they have. They've got hard throwers that come in. They've got 3 left-handers. So a starter on the Royals gives them 7 innings. They're in pretty good shape. Here's Nunez. And a strike from Shields. In Kansas City, Shields' nickname was Big Game James. And I said Kansas City. In Tampa Bay, he's in Kansas City now. He's trying to be Big Game James here, but in Tampa Bay, Big Game James, which I think that Joe Madden gave him that nickname to make him feel as if he was a big game pitcher. Almost what Tommy Lasorda did with Oral Hershiser when he called him Bulldog. And he kind of developed into their Bulldog. And James did pitch some pretty big games, but he also wasn't lights out in big moments. And we saw the matchups that he had against the Yankees, which are always big games, and his record isn't that great against them. But he's got good stuff.
He's always had great stuff. The changeup and the ability to change speeds on the changeup as well. And we've talked about the numbers all night. If he gets into a rhythm in the middle of a ball game, he gets tougher. And he's been that one pitcher on that Kansas City rotation that does not get a lot of run support. That's the case tonight too. Only 2 runs.
He's not allowed a hit since the 2nd inning. Not allowed the base runner since the 3rd when he issued 2 walks, but they were erased on the Almonte double play. He's retired the last 12 Yankees. There's that great change, 1 and 2. And you always have to measure, is it Shields? Is it the Yankee offense? Obviously a combination of both. But right now the Yankees have had a run in each of their last 3 games.
Well, the adjustment that Shields has made in this ballgame, he is throwing his fastball more, and it's making that changeup a little bit more effective than it has been recently. And he was very, very hittable in that 1st inning.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. And he retires the side in order again as the Yankee offense continues to struggle. We go to the 8th. Kansas City 2, New York 1. By Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Now we go to the 8th inning. Yankees trail this one 2-1. It'll be the top of the order for the Royals against KCA Sabathia. Alex Gordon will start it off. He's 0 for 2. He walked in the 3rd inning. And the fastball is low. And so is the pitch count. Hyundai scoreboard 2-1 Royals. Just 88 pitches for KCA. Good pitch, and Gordon just waves through it. We saw Tim Collins yesterday, one of the 3 left-handers for the Royals, so he's getting ready again.
A good slider will make a good left-handed hitter not look very good. A weak swing.
Fly ball, right center. Drifting over is Gardner for the first out. Why is the left-hander up? Well, in the 8th inning, the Yankees have Stewart, and then they have 4 lefties in a row. And that's when every single opposing manager brings in their left-hander, because the Yankees don't have enough right-handed batters to break that up, and that will change, obviously, when and if Jeter gets up here. And Jeter's always been historically such a good hitter against left-handers that will make a manager think twice about automatically bringing in a southpaw. Here's Escobar. There's a base hit inside first and down the right field line. Ichiro plays it in the corner, and Escobar picks up his first hit, a double.
Well, he doesn't try to do too much, just stays out over the plate. First pitch swinging, just slices one down the right field line. Already mentioned a few times Sabathia coming off a pitch count of 121, a season high. You worry about a guy coming back his next start, but his stuff has been fine.
Hosmer swings and misses.
Think back over those 92 pitches that Sabathia has thrown. I do not remember a mistake. The 2 home runs, fastballs in, hit their spot. They were not out over the plate.
Skied the other way. Fair ball, it's trouble. It's a fair ball, and it bounces into the seats. That's going to score another run. A double for Hosmer. Escobar scores. It's 3-1 KC.
That is a huge run for the Kansas City Royals, with the Yankees, who have been struggling offensively. Put another one on the board, and this is a fastball supposed to be in, and this one drifts back to the middle of the plate. Probably the first bad fastball location pitch Sabathia has thrown tonight. He pays the price. An opposite field ground rule double. Most importantly for the Royals, an RBI, another run on the board.
And a trip to the mound by the pitching coach Rothschild. Well, that's a big run, as John said. Sean Kelly getting ready for the Yankees, as Billy Butler will be intentionally walked.
Butler, a few home runs in this series, and a big home run to give the Royals a lead. Catcher Perez on deck has hit a lot of ground balls. We've already talked about not running real well with some leg problems.
So an intentional walk to Butler. And here is Perez.
Sandler has 3 ground balls tonight. 1 to Robinson Cano, 2 others to third base. CC Sabathia and Chris Stewart would sign up for another one here. For double play ground ball, get out of trouble here in the 8th inning.
Looped into left field, coming on Almonte. He's there to make the play. 2 outs. To vote for the Chevy prior to the game, visit votechevy.com. Results will be revealed in the postgame show. Here is Lorenzo Cain. Breaking ball strike.
Obviously, Sabathia would like to get Cain out here, but Moustakas on deck came in to play defense, a left-handed hitter. Sabathia does not have to give in to the right-handed swinging Cain. Pitch him tough.
The 2-1. Grounded foul, 2-2.
Back-to-back changeups to Cain.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Royals up by 2, top of the 8th. Fly ball, right center, Gardner there, and that'll do it. But a big insurance run, 2 doubles, 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 3-1 Royals. postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry wrap up tonight's matchup and get the latest updates from around baseball. Plus, Meredith Morakovitz talks with the players in the clubhouse. And there's also Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's the WB Mason postgame, only on Yes. James Shields was coasting, but Ned Yost makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. And he brings in Tim Collins, his diminutive lefty, to face Stewart, Gardner, and Ichiro.
I thought Ned Yost might leave Shields out there to face Chris Stewart and then take care of some of the lefties that you talked about. Saw him last night, a hard-throwing lefty, only 5 feet 7 inches tall, but he throws hard.
Now, the Royals made a very strange roster maneuver today, which I don't quite get, because against the Yankees, the more lefties you have in the bullpen, I think the better chance you have. Well, Will Smith, one of their lefties, was actually optioned out, and they brought up another right-hander, Lewis Coleman. So that's one lefty. And the other lefty is Bruce Chen, and they're saying that Bruce Chen is going to start on Friday. So Tim Collins is the only lefty. You'd think that they would have kept the other lefty up for the next 2 games, but they did not do that. And Stewart pops it up. And Hosmer makes the play. John, I got a stat that is kind of startling. A member of the Yankees starting lineup has not had an extra base hit since Ichiro doubled in the 5th inning on Friday. Overbay pinch hit yesterday with the home run. Everything else has been a single. It's hard to generate. That's why you've scored 1, 1, and 1 now. And here's Brett Gardner. He bunted in the 1st inning, but he's 1 for 3. Thinks about a bunt again, but takes a strike.
I always find myself late in these ball games starting to think if you can get a runner on, then a possibility of a home run, tie the game up. But with those numbers you're mentioning, the power department has disappeared for the Yankees offensively.
And the one thing that we should stress, the Yankees are not in a power slump. They're not a power team anymore. I mean, even before the injuries took hold, they knew that there was going to be a reduction in the home run hitting. So then you add in losing the 43 home runs by Granderson, A-Rod, Jeter, who could hit you some home runs. You let Russell Martin leave as a free agent. That was some home runs as well. So it's not exactly a home run slump. It's just the fact they're not a power team. As Gardner singles to left. Let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios, making life more entertaining with America's fastest, most reliable internet. That's powerful. Wade Davis, the other pitcher who came from Tampa Bay, will go up against Ivan Nova, coming off possibly his best start in the last couple of years. Our coverage will begin on Yes at 6 with the batting practice show. The pregame's at 6:30. First pitch comes right around 7:07 here in the Bronx. So that brings up the tying run, Ichiro Suzuki. And he swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. But just because they're not built for power doesn't mean they're not built for extra base hits. And that has also disappeared.
That's disappeared, right.
Crow. Saw him yesterday for one batter. He's up again. The 0-1. Strike. 0-2. Fastball outside.
Perez looking in the dugout, getting signs for the running game with Brett Gardner at first base.
Ground ball. Grabbed by Giovitella, and he gets Ichiro for the second out as Gardner moves to second. And now you've got the dangerous Cano coming up.
Ichiro does not hit this ball very hard, but he's still got some speed and a nice play. Spinning and throwing a bullet to first base, and a great look on Yes Mo, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. It's actually Elliott Johnson in the game now. A nice defensive play. Coming in as a defensive replacement.
Here's Cano. Fastball strike on the inside corner. Got Hafner on deck, so I don't think they're going to give anything to Cano that he could drive. Wouldn't want to do that anyway, but you also don't want to put the tying run on base.
You know what the problem is? Back end of the bullpen guys usually don't have that mentality that I'm going to pitch around people. They always have that mentality of attacking with their best stuff.
Would you pitch around him here, John?
I would be calling this game if I was Perez in this at bat like there were 2 strikes, and I'd have a conversation with the pitcher too and say, you know what, right from the first pitch, make your pitches like you're throwing an 0-2 pitch, trying to strike him out. Bouncing breaking balls, fastballs out of the zone.
1-2.
What makes a back end of a reliever successful is his mind, his mentality, his aggressiveness. Not used to pitching around hitters, they're used to attacking.
They are attacking here. Another one fouled away. Cano continues to foul off pitches.
See, they're staying away with the fastball, up and away. Robinson just fouling them off. They're thinking a breaking ball is coming at some point here, ahead in the count 1-2.
Another fastball fouled away. Mariano up. Last pitched on Sunday.
Looks like Collins staying away from that breaking ball, worried about hanging it. That would be a pitch that could end up in the seats. He's going fastball after fastball away.
Got him with a breaking ball. Cano down swinging. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We're going to the 9th inning. They got the big Yankee hitter, Robinson Cano. imported from Detroit. Well, underneath the elevated train, you see CC Sabathia's picture, and on the mound, he's still there as we go to the 9th inning. Here's Moustakas, and there's a strike. Moustakas came in a defensive change for Tejada in the 8th inning, so this is his first at bat against CC. So he threw, I believe, 121 pitches his last time out. And that was his season high. Right now he is at 105.
And nobody loosening up in that Yankee bullpen.
Count 1-2.
Moustakas really struggling against lefties. A batting average of 155 coming into this at bat.
Now we saw Mariano warming up in the bullpen while the Yankees were batting in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the only thing that I can figure out, John, is that if Cano hit a home run and tied it, they would have brought him in to pitch the 9th, because he sat down quickly when Cano struck out.
Well, obviously does not need work. Pitched plenty in that Baltimore series. A little surprised Joe Girardi sent Sabathia back out here for the 9th inning with that pitch count from his last game.
Swing and a miss. Moustakas down on strikes.
A steady diet of sliders to Moustakas. Down in the dirt. Nice play by Chris Stewart.
Here's Elliott Johnson now, his first at bat. Count 1-0. Logan and Kelly. Grounded to third. Cruz gets Johnson. Johnson running way inside the first baseline. Almost became a distraction to Overbay. But the play was made, so no harm, no foul. He also came over in that deal with Tampa Bay. He had to avoid running into Overbay. There's David Lowe. He tied the score with a second deck home run down the right field line, leading off the 6th inning. Then Butler gave the Royals a 2-1 lead with a home run leading off the 7th inning. And then Hosmer with a double in the 8th inning made it 3-1. Well, we go to the bottom of the 9th inning as Sabathia works a 1-2-3. Coming up for the Yankees, Hafner, Almonte, and Overbay. Can they rally? They're down 3-1. Yankees have scored a run, just a single run in each of their last 3 games. And now they'll have to go up against Greg Holland, who yesterday was sporting a 99-mile-an-hour fastball to pick up his 21st save.
59 strikeouts in 34 innings. Had 3 strikeouts last night.
With the bases loaded and nobody out.
You were mentioning it last night, Michael, that the Royals had to use him. Throwing plenty of pitches, and we'll see what his stuff looks like tonight.
Hafner, Almonte, and Overbay. Travis has struck out twice and walked tonight. There's a strike.
With a guy like Holland who throws in the upper 90s, the game plan is very simple as a hitter. Get your foot down early and get ready to hit. Look for that fastball. If he throws anything off speed, you just hope you can recognize it and do something with it.
Hafner angry at himself. I think he thought that was his pitch. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
So not quite the fastball that we saw last night, and a good swing just fouled off by Travis Hafner. Face a closer like this who has strikeout stuff, and you foul off a pitch you think you should hit. Obviously it gets tougher here with a 1-2 count.
And he gets an off-speed pitch and strikes out for the 3rd time tonight.
I mentioned this last night. Holland throws a lot of off-speed pitches for a guy who throws in the upper 90s. Don't know if that's a split or a slider. Whatever it was, Travis Hafner looking for the fastball. He doesn't get it. A little half swing.
Here's Almonte. He struck out with the bases loaded to end the game last night against Holland. Almonte 1 for 3. Fouled off a lot of fastballs yesterday and finally couldn't catch up with one. You can't say much about Almonte. He's done a nice job since coming up. And, 288 on this team is pretty darn good. And he has not embarrassed himself and looked overmatched at all. Count 2-0.
I think that's what you like about him for a young player. He doesn't look intimidated. He doesn't look overwhelmed. Even facing a guy like this who's throwing in the upper 90s, he's not jumpy at the plate. Looks calm.
And the count 3-0. A strike.
There's that 3-0 pitch that can be pretty much anywhere around the plate, and umpires are going to call it. Looks down to me. Angel Hernandez calls it a strike, and Holland back in the count.
(3-1). Grounded to first. Hosmer for the second out, and a bolt of lightning across the sky over the left field stands.
There you go. There's a difference. Could have been a 1-out walk, and Overbay comes up to the plate. Instead, Almonte, the 3-0 pitch called a strike. A routine ground ball to first.
Holland has had 14 saves since May 30th, tied for the most in the majors with Jim Johnson and Joe Nathan. He's trying to pick up his 15th. And the pitch to Overbay is a strike. Right now, the Yankees are in a offensive situation where they've scored 3 runs in just under 30 innings, 29 and 2/3 innings. And you almost get the sense when they scored the run in the first inning, it was as if they said to Sabathia, okay, protect that, and it's a lot to ask of a pitcher. Sabathia did a good job tonight, but 3 runs right now is too much for this offense to overcome.
Yeah, this ball game was all about that first inning. The Yankees had Shields on the ropes. Only gave up that 1 run in the first.
Popped up. Moustakas makes the play to end the game. The wind took it. Moustakas stayed with it, and that will do it as Holland works a 1-2-3 ninth inning. The Yankees go down in order, and they lose their 3rd straight game and the 2nd to the Royals.
Well, Moustakas put in for defensive purposes a few innings ago and hangs in there on a tough pop-up that the wind brings back towards the playing field in the edge of his glove and able to secure it. And another nice win for the Kansas City Royals in a very disappointing game for the Yankees, not able to score enough runs to support your ACC Sabathia, who threw a pretty good game.
Well, you got to stick around for the post-game show to find out who's tonight's Chevy player of the game. Holland likes it, big smile on his face. And why not? They've taken 2 from the Yankees, and they've guaranteed themselves at least a split in this 4-game set. We'll come back, we'll give an award out, get you ready for Bob and Jack at 9.